Hey everybody, hope you are doing good. Welcome to another FlutterFlow video within the Digital Pros at No Code Academy. And in this particular one, I want to demonstrate a very simple technique on how you can trigger animations inside a component but from outside of the component. So let me demonstrate it to you first. Actually, before we do that, I just want to thank a member of the No Code Academy called Zak, who was kind of demonstrating this technique to another member of the community who was looking to perform this particular action. But I thought, hey, this is really something that the wider community of FlutterFlow would benefit from, so I thought I'd put this video together. So thank you to Zak. All his details are on screen. So on the right hand side here, you can see here I've got the application up and running. Again, it's very simple. I've kind of got this page here which has a button called Trigger Animation in Component. Now this is a component itself. I'm going to hit this particular button and you can see here that the animation is kind of expanding and then contracting, and I can kind of trigger this at any particular point. So how does this work? Well, just from a simplistic perspective, what we're kind of doing here is that this particular component is kind of monitoring a change that's happening within inside your application, and when it sees a change, it's then triggering the animation within inside. But there's a bit of setup that is needed, and I'll talk you through that itself. So that is the project on the right hand side. Let's walk through bit by bit on how it is constructed. Okay, so let's look at the setup then. So on the left hand side here, you can see I'm on a single page, and I've got the regular kind of set of maybe base widgets here to kind of form the construction of my particular page. The two bits that's really important here is the trigger button here and this animation component. And this animation component is just up here. So let's select that. Let's have a look what this has on the widget tree. So this is really simple actual component itself. You can see here I've got a container, I've got a column, and then I've kind of got this circle container, which is again just kind of shaped up here, just a lot smaller than the one that we've actually got here, but it's got this kind of little icon here which is indicating that we have a trigger style animation that's kind of applied to it. So if I just select that and I move here, you can see we've got this on page load and we've got this on action trigger. Now this particular animation is set up that we have a duration of 600 milliseconds, so that is the duration that this phase of the animation will kind of play out. It's going to start instantly. We're going to start at the scale that you see on the screen at the moment, and then we're going to increase this to 1.3, so just a little bit larger. Now down here, we've then got a second animation, which is technically it's set up to have a duration again of 600 because of course we want it to be kind of consistent. But of course it's got a 600 milliseconds sort of delay. And the reason why it's 600 milliseconds because we need of course the duration of this one to play out first. And of course the starting scale of that particular animation is going to be 1.3 because that's our final scale here. So we're going to start at 1.3 and we're going to end back down to 1.0. So we're going to take it back to its original size. Now if I just preview this particular animation, you get the idea of kind of what is kind of happening. So that is our on action trigger animation. Now just down here, for all of your eagle-eyed spotters here, you can see here I kind of got this trigger watcher. Now you're kind of thinking, well, what is all this about? Well, this is actually a custom widget, but it has a responsibility with inside our application. Now when I click on it, you kind of won't really see it much in the UI because what I've done is I set the scale down here as 0, so it's kind of just tucks itself away. But there are a couple of kind of custom widget parameters here. One is this trigger, which is really just an integer value, and then we've got this on trigger changed kind of event. Now let me explain a little bit about this one. So this particular value here is an app state variable, which is kind of like a value that we are associating with this trigger watcher, because outside of this particular component, so on the page itself, on that button to trigger, we are going to change the value of this app state variable. And the responsibility that this particular component has is that we're passing this app state value into this custom widget, and the responsibility of the custom widget is to kind of see when that value changes. So from a beginner's perspective, I guess, is that it's just kind of monitoring those, but that particular change, there's a value change, right? And when it sees that value changes has occurred, it's then triggering kind of like an event within inside the actual custom widget itself, and that event is this on trigger change. So technically this is a callback that we can then utilize, that every time this particular value changes, this callback will then execute. And of course, we can then do all kinds of things in there. But in this particular scenario, what we are doing quite simply is triggering the animation of this circle container. So if I just open that up here, you can see here I've got this widget animation action, and I'm just hooking on here to the circle container because that was the name of my widget in the widget tree. And here I'm just starting the animation. So this will always be executed when that particular value changes. It is as simple as that. Now, there is of course a full sample to this because, as always with the Digital Pros No Code Academy, I always provide the sample applications for you to have a look at itself. I don't hold anything back. I want to share this with you, and so please do check the link in the actual description itself. But let's go and have a look at that. Let's have a look at this bit of code that's kind of happening here. And I've kind of commented it here. Don't worry about the squiggly lines. That's just FlutterFlow having its funny 5 minutes in terms of almost looking like there's errors here and stuff like that. I've commented it here, so feel free to have a look at that. Or maybe if you're not a coder or anything like that, then of course you could take this into ChatGPT and get it to kind of explain a little bit about what is going on. But as you can see here, this is a custom widget, which is just called Trigger Watcher. It has some parameters. We've got this trigger, this integer value here that we've kind of set up here. This is just a straightforward trigger. And here we've got this on trigger change, and this is an action. It could be nullable, of course. You don't always need to trigger something, but it'd be kind of useless if you didn't, of course. And that is all that is kind of set up. So once you then generate the boilerplate code up here, then there's additional code that's been added to this particular widget. And I'm going to spare you the detail on this because really all this is doing is kind of monitoring this value change, as I said, and then it's invoking this on trigger change event back to the kind of the action here for us to then kind of apply all of our actions on itself. So of course what you can do is you can just literally copy and paste kind of all of this code in here. So once you've kind of set up these parameters, generate the boilerplate code, and then you can copy all of this here and literally just paste that into your own kind of Trigger Watcher custom widget, and you will be golden. You'll be up and running, no problem at all. Of course, I've compiled that and all that kind of stuff. So that's now going to be available, of course, to my application. And all I've simply done here is I've gone into my component column. I've kind of gone to plus here. I've gone to my kind of components here, and I've selected my Trigger Watcher custom action. Now, just one point out, just as I said before, if I just do that again, I could do that again. Remember, just to set the width and the height down to 0, and of course it just kind of removes it from the actual UI. So let's just get rid of that. So of course that's monitoring then of course that app state variable. And of course if I go back to the home page here, and if I look at this particular button here, you can see here it's just got it. In fact, I'll open up the action flow editor so you can see that. You can see I've got this update app state here. All I'm doing is I'm incrementing the value by 1. So this can, every time I click it's going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It really doesn't matter. It can go up to 20,000. It doesn't really matter. But the key point here is that because this is an app state variable and we've associated that with inside our actual Trigger Watcher itself, and when that value changes, then of course it's then going to kind of fire this particular event, which of course is then going to fire this particular animation. Of course, next look at then the app state variable itself. So you can see here I've just moved over to app values. I've got this app state variable called trigger1. Now this is just got a default value of 0, but of course this is just going to increment, and of course it's an integer. And of course if I had multiple kind of animations that I kind of wanted to monitor, then of course I can create all of these additional triggers. I can call them different names if I like, but I can create more of these and more values to monitor with inside the actual sort of component itself. And as we know, that's already mapped to then this particular trigger down here. So if you had lots of components with lots of trigger watchers, they can be then monitoring changes to additional app state variables themselves. Okay then, so hopefully you found this particular video useful. There's lots of different sort of use cases for this, so please do go and explore the sample app and then kind of maybe try using this with inside your FlutterFlow projects as well. So as always, please do like the video. I really do appreciate your likes because of course this gets these videos out to the wider community, and of course please do become a subscriber as well. It really does kind of surprise me actually that so many people watch my content, but yet not many of you actually subscribe. So please become a subscriber, and of course you'll be notified at any point there of any new kind of videos are kind of dropping. And of course if you want to become a member of the Digital Pros No Code Academy, then please do check out the link in the description as well. So there we go. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.